Right after I got back from San Francisco, my family and I actually went on vacation to Las Vegas the weekend of the tragic shooting. I have never been that close to something so devastating, and it sure puts things into perspective about what's truly important. Back to the poker world, though, where I played 2 long sessions that weekend. The first coming across the street from our hotel Friday night at the Westgate 1-2. It's a nice casino, especially the sports book. It does have a very small poker room with only one table going when I got there, but we got a second table started where I was in for 200 in seat 6, with my brother to the left there in for 100 in seat 8. Players are limping most hands and very passive. The drinking should also help a little bit. The player to my direct right doesn't know basic rules like when it's his turn.
Hello?
Ace-8 suited in the hijack is a must-play. Both options have benefits. Limping allows for more chips to play with behind, which would be a big advantage in this lineup and with position as well. Then raising obviously allows for getting value from worse hands that will call. I decided on limping. Might not be the most profitable play over the long run, but raising is way higher variance since it would likely go something like 6 ways, which this pot goes. We get an 8-5-3 flop, all hearts. Again, 2 options here, calling or raising. I decided on calling and seeing a turn playing with position, very similar to pre-flop. The turn is safe with a black 2, then the action is the exact same. Value raise seems pretty clear here now. I make it 25 and get both players to call. The 5x raise is a little small because the initial bet was so small. Should have made it like 40. River dooms our hand, and I check it back. The big blind wins with the king-high flush, and the second caller we had outkicked. Decently played hand there that could have went in many different directions on essentially each street. This is how you make money in these calling station huge multi-way hands. Pick up premiums, then hope they hold up. I raise to 15 and get 5 callers. With these super bloated multi-way pots, overpairs are never folding. Not the greatest flop, with me having no spade, but a tiny 1/9 pot bet and a call. Raise it up and can get value from plenty of hands that will continue, like a jack or spade. The initial better calls, leaving himself just $35 behind. He then just puts 5 $1 chips on a great looking turn for us. Then a few seconds later tries to stick the rest in. Another player that doesn't know the rules is a good table sign again.
Well, hi!
I put it all in anyway, makes it easy. River is a black 10, but I was drawing dead anyway. He flopped a flush. That's just part of the struggle of games with this type of dynamic. I add on another 140 to top off my stack, with a fantastic outlook for the future at this table tonight. 2 limps and I raise with ace-9 offsuit from the cutoff. After playing for a while, I realized that this hand, as well as the ace-8 suited hand from earlier, are standard value raising in position. The player to my right calls. We're heads up to a dream flop for this hand. He then donks a pretty big bet of 25. I feel he likes his hand with this much interest and might have a 9 or a pocket pair. I don't want to slow the action down against those on the turn with many overcards that can potentially come. I raise to try to get it all in right here and now. He surprises me though and folds. So perhaps I'm going off some faulty assumptions against this player, and he doesn't play just straight up, sometimes sporadically donk bluffs. My brother got busted with pocket 9s against jacks and queens. He said it was his best hand he saw all night and went for it. So he is done, and it's just me left now. Same situation here with me having queens as with the kings earlier, 5 ways only instead of 6, but besides that, pretty much the exact same action and result. Tiny bet and a call on a paired board. I make the easy raise with the initial better only starting with a 2/3 pot size bet to the flop. You see hit trips and crushes me. The overpairs just aren't holding up. Early position with ace-jack suited is an easy raise after a limp, then get 5 calls. Now, I could start raising larger, but raising 7.5x is big already, and I do really want action, even more so since many players don't even start with full stacks. Another tiny bet of just 10. I don't think these players will realize just how much value is in the pot already and will overfold. I also have 2 overs and lots of backdoor draws, so I raise and look to take the already 45 big blind pot down, or continue when I pick up equity on the turn when called. This is the same player that did a similar play with Queen 8 suited when he flopped a big hand and bet so small, so could be deja vu. Not today. It works out, and he folds. Same script, different actors. The King and Jack of Hearts are starring this time, and 3 ways against 2 of the 3 super action players, where I essentially feel the pot is already mine with a monster flop, top pair, and a flush draw. The ranges are so wide, and this is a perfect hand to just call this donk bet. I don't mind a free card since I have the flush draw. Plus, this player has shown to do this play and fold to a raise. I also want the third player to stay in, which that doesn't happen. Then I get another bet, $46 on a turn 5 of diamonds. I could call and leave a pot-sized bet on the river left, but 2 streets of betting sure looks like he'll feel committed. He might slow down or give up with a missed hand. I go all in. He thinks about it for about 10 seconds or so, then lets it go. Maybe he just really likes multi-street donk bluffing, and I should just let him hang himself in the future. Up to 337, so down 3 whole dollars. Decent considering the 2 hands I lost with when I started with premiums. Sadly, the table breaks, and I go onto the main table where we join up. The 3 action players from my table were among the ones that left also. 3 limps and a tiny raise to 8 from a player that will not stop talking. He is Asian and tells us that he is trying to learn how to speak a better English.
Why don't you please just speak English? Maybe I can understand you.
In all seriousness, he actually spoke perfectly clear and is a super funny, likable guy that's happy to be here. Sometimes even showing 1 card to his opponents during the hand. Not afraid at all to use that table talk. I 3-bet to 40 and get woken up by one of the limpers who goes all in. Easy call when it gets back to me. Flop had 1 overcard and a king. The river did also, so less likely against ace-king. He shows pocket jacks after I flip pocket queens. So a premium hand finally holds up for me, now up $144. The night is winding down, and this is the last noteworthy hand, playing now 7-handed. I played 3-handed for a little while with my buddy to the right of me, but nothing worth going over. I open limp with ace-7 suited. I'd rather not raise and play this hand in a bloated pot out of position, when I could just limp with it and play with plenty of money behind. If I was in position, it'd be a totally different story. After I do, everybody gets in there. 2 pair and basically the nuts on a rainbow flop. I check. Not sure about this play since people like calling so much. My thought process was plenty of players are left to act and 1 will likely bet. Didn't happen. Turn bet from doesn't stop talking of 8. I make it 25. I don't think players behind have a hand worth raising like an ace since they didn't bet the flop. He calls, and I bet again on the river, big of 50. I think an ace will feel obligated to call so I can size it up. My line does look rather strange and bluffy. He characteristically shows his hand, ace-3, and I feel a call coming. It does, and I end the night on a good note. I played 6 hours and until 2 in the morning, cashing out for $593, a $253 profit. Good start for the weekend, even though it could have gone better. Happy with it, and looking to continue tomorrow at Caesar's Palace playing the 1-2.
You mean like a party?
Yeah, you're right. A party. What do you say?
Oh, I love parties. That sounds like fun.
You know, parties are fun, and it's tempting, but we can't because...
Oh, come on, I insist.
Okay.